Hi everyone, thank you for joining us. We're going to give everyone just a few minutes to join before we get started. All right, let's get things kicked off. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us for the Intuit Insider Look series. Today, we're going to talk about a day in the life of a remote tax expert professional. My name is Maury, and I'll be your host for today. First, a few housekeeping items before we get started. First, please note that the chat is disabled, but on the bottom of your screen, you will see a Q&A box to use. This Q&A box is for your questions. Please feel free to ask any question that comes up in the Q&A box. We have a team of professionals behind the scene that will be answering questions live in the Q&A box during the webinar. We do our best to make sure to cover all the information you may have questions about. So if you do have a general question, note that it will likely be answered during the webinar today. However, if we're nearing the end of the presentation and you still have not heard the answer to your question, go ahead and ask away. Please rest assured, in case you miss anything, we'll be following up with a recording of this webinar today. After today's call, you will also notice a QR code on our slide deck. At any point during our presentation, you can feel free to scan the code and apply to be a TurboTax Live professional for Canada, if you're interested. We have also dropped the link to apply in the chat box, which you will find next to the Q&A, next to the QR code. All right. Last but not least, we service English and French customers and have opportunities to support both or either. Speaking English is a requirement for our roles, and being bilingual in English and French is a bonus. After this webinar, and this webinar is tailored toward experts who have previous tax experience, but we welcome folks with no experience to stay and learn more. And with that, let's begin. I'm going to say before we get started that we're going to cover a lot of information. We want you to feel good about your understanding of Intuit, TurboTax Live, their role, and make sure you have a firm grounding as to what you can expect when you apply. So stay with us and ask questions as they come up. This information will really help you to get the full scope and background you need in order to be 100% certain when applying for a role of us. Here is our agenda for today. We'll first start with a round of panel introduction so you can get an idea of who you'll be hearing from. We'll talk about Intuit, who we are as a company, as well as our mission. We'll talk about TurboTax Live, why this is an organization that you want to be part of. You'll get to hear from an actual real-life TurboTax Live expert, someone who was once in your shoes and thought that this job can definitely be something that will be a good fit for them. They applied, went through the application process themselves, and now have created a career for themselves here at Intuit. You'll be hearing from Milan today, who will talk to you about her journey. And finally, you'll be hearing from our recruitment team in Canada, who will talk to you about what it takes to apply and become a part of our team. You'll hear from Vanessa, who will discuss the type of position we are hiring for across Canada, the step-by-step process you follow from recruitment to onboarding, and some helpful tips for conducting a successful interview. With any time left at the end, I'll be sure to do some questions and answer and ensure that you have all the information you need in order to get yourself on our incredible team of experts. So, who are we hearing from today? I would like to bring our amazing TurboTax Live panelists onto our virtual stage here to introduce themselves. Please join me on our virtual stage, Vanessa and Milan. Please introduce yourself to the audience. Please share with us what your role here at Intuit is and how long you have been with us and where you're calling in from today. We can start with you, Vanessa.
Hi, Murray. How's it going?
Good.
So, hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Vanessa Toe, and I am the recruiter for the Intuit and TurboTax Live Canada. I recently joined TurboTax, so this is my first tax season, and I'm really looking forward to some of the exciting things we've got going on in our talent network. As well, I am located in Toronto. So, passing it back to you, Maury.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for that awesome introduction. Now I'll hand it over to you, Milan.
Hi, my name is Mylène. I am a bilingual tax expert for all of Canada. I am located in Quebec on the Gaspé coast. I am a bilingual expert, which means that I can help in French the clients from coast to coast. It'll be my fourth season with TurboTax as a TurboTax Live expert.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Milan. All right. Awesome. Now a bit about myself. My name is Maury, located in the capital of Canada, Ottawa, Ontario. I'm bilingual. I've been here with Intuit TurboTax for 4 years now, an amazing company to work at. So that's a little bit of myself. So now let's dig into our webinar. First up, who we are as a company and what is our mission. Intuit, oh, I think I'll have to pass to the next slide, please. Intuit journey began 40 years ago when our founder, Scott Cook, sat at his kitchen table and watched his wife as she struggled to balance a checkbook. And he thought there must be a better way to do this accounting. Intuit is the culmination of that idea, the concept of making everyday finance easier, evolving Intuit into a global technology giant in the financial service industry. Today, we have four key products in our portfolio: TurboTax Live, QuickBooks Live, Credit Karma, and MailChimp. But we are still driven by the same core vision that founded this company. There must be a better way to help our customers financially. TurboTax Live, which is the product you are all here for today, is our largest and well-known brand out there. In Canada and in the US, TurboTax is by far the leader, the number one to do it yourself tax tool that is out there. All of you on this call are here today because of the fact that you have an interest in taxes, accounting, and you are interested in becoming tax expert. The reality is that if you are not doing someone taxes and they are doing it themselves, they are likely using TurboTax to do it. Intuit missions is powering prosperity around the world. This means with our consumer and with our customer, who could be anyone from your individual tax filer to a consumer who use Credit Karma, or a small business owner looking to make sure they can manage their business financial. In any of these cases, our goal is that they are powering their own prosperity, that they are putting more money in their pocket, that they are making sure they can use money as a tool to grow their own personal wealth and life in ways that ensure that they know where their money is and how it's growing. Powering prosperity around the world is from powering prosperity. I stumble. Sorry about that. Powering prosperity around the world is everything from making sure our consumers and are getting the biggest possible tax return, to make sure our small business owner globally are able to get the money they need to make their business a success. Each one of our four products is created in with this mission in mind, helping people power their own prosperity. Why work for Intuit? Let's jump into a bit about us. So, Intuit is one of the top companies to work at, and you don't have to take my word for it. You can learn why we are a top company to work at from many distinguished organizations that have ranked us as the best place to work in America, Canada, and globally. Just this year, Great Place to Work announced Intuit was ranked number 19 on the best place to work. This is the fourth year in row that we are featured on this list. Great Place to Work also announced that Intuit is one of the best place for mental wellness in 2024 and one of the best place for women to work in 2024. To be eligible, organization must be Great Place to Work certified in the past year, have at least 50 female employees complete the survey, and 90% of all respondents must agree that people are treated fairly regardless of their gender. So this ranking do really speak for themselves and on the way that our employees are treated here at Intuit. And then we have already talked about how TurboTax Live is the number one tax provider across Canada and the US. But let me tell you why we are asking you to be here today. We are asking you to work here as expert because of the fact that we have this giant virtual network of tax professionals like yourself who are out there to help taxpayers file their taxes. Most consumers who are filing the taxes don't have your knowledge or expertise. They have a lot of fear. uncertainty, doubt when it comes to filing the taxes. They are worried that they may get audited or worried that they're not getting the best possible tax return for themselves. The tax refund check really matter to people, and everyone is concerned that they are getting the right amount of money back. So we are looking for people like you who know taxes and are professional in this area to come and talk live on the camera with our customers, work through the tax return with them, and either help them prepare the taxes or in some case actually do the taxes for them. It's a great opportunity to connect with new people and be able to really support and help them with the tax filing needs and reduce some of that fear, uncertainty, and doubt along the way. So now it's time for our first poll. We want to know, how comfortable are you working with customers in French and English? So these are our options here. You have a very comfortable. I'm a bilingual in both languages. Two, not very comfortable. I use one language only in casual conversation, and three, not comfortable at all. So please go ahead and put in your response. I'll be waiting for you to complete the poll. All right, we're almost there. We're just waiting for a little bit more answer in the poll. All right, so let's see the answer to our poll now. Let's go. All right. So this is the response. These are the results for the poll. 28% of you are very comfortable in both language, 36% not very comfortable, or not very comfortable, and 35% not comfortable at all. Thank you so much for completing the poll. So why TurboTax Live, you may ask? Even in today's economy, our need for TurboTax Live expert only continue to grow. Unlike other jobs out there, our roles here have been stable, and demand for tax expert like yourself continue to be resilient and continue to grow years after year. So what do you get if you come work for us? Now I would like to bring on our TurboTax Live recruiter for Canada onto our virtual stage to speak to the benefit you will get if you accept the job with us at TurboTax Live. Vanessa, please join me on stage.
Hey, Mari, how's it
Hey,
going?
hey, Vanessa, I'm doing good, and you?
Good.
Doing good. So, Vanessa, I have some questions for you. And my first question is, so what benefit can our applicant expect to get as TurboTax Live expert? Can you review the benefit, position available, and the recruitment process for those who are interested in joining our community?
Absolutely. So for Canadian roles, you get to work remote across the country from your home or home office. This is a fully remote position. So as long as you reside in the country of Canada, you can work wherever you'd like. With a virtual network of tax professionals throughout the country, this allows us to empower prosperity for all of our customers. You'll also get to select a schedule that works best for you. We have a schedule model within Canada and a range of areas for you to choose from. Now, our normal operating hours are Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. However, during the tax season, we will extend our hours to 7 days a week from 9 a.m. Eastern all the way to midnight. So the extended seasonal hours will typically start on the third week of February. In addition to a flexible work schedule and a remote working model, we also offer employee assistance programs and paid sick leave depending on the province that you reside in. And because you're an employee of Intuit and TurboTax, you will also receive product discounts and a free copy of TurboTax Live every year. So if you're looking for a fulfilling remote job that gives you the flexibility to work when and where you want, Intuit and TurboTax has got you covered. Next, let's dive into our open positions and what's available. We offer multiple positions at TurboTax Live Canada, but depending on your level of experience and your depth of tax knowledge. So this conclude roles in our expert tax community in both English and bilingual, and whom, depending on the service areas that you support, either assist and review tax filings for our customers, or depending on whether the customer has chosen a full service product, we'll also complete the returns and file it with the CRA. We also offer more advanced SME and leadership positions on a seasonal full-time basis. So what's a full-time opportunity? So our tax experts are required to work a minimum of 20 hours per week. But if you have significant experience and tentatively looking for full-time work, we also offer those in our tax lead role. Training will also be provided every step of the way to ensure you'll be set up for success from the moment you connect with your first customer. Next, let's go over how someone can join our talent community and what that process would look like. So you're interested in one of these roles. How do you join our talent community? Here we have our step-by-step process from start to finish, recruitment, all the way to onboarding. And it all starts with candidate screening via a phone interview with one of our recruiters. In order for us to be able to understand a little bit more about you and what role you might be qualified for, we ask that you apply via a lead form first. If you meet the requirements for one of these roles, apply via the lead form that can be found via the QR code, the link on the bottom right hand of your screen. The form will ask you a few general questions to help us learn a little bit more about you. Now, completing the lead form doesn't guarantee moving forward to next steps, but if you meet the requirements, you will then be connected with a recruiter. During your conversation with a recruiter, you'll be able to learn about the next steps and see if there's a mutual interest and a mutual fit before moving to the next step of the interview process. The next step will be an online interview conducted via HireVue. So not only is the position remote, but the HireVue assessment can also be done via the comfort of your own home or home office. The HireVue assessment will take anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. And post completion of that interview and after the evaluation, if successful, we're going to reach out to you via a verbal offer ASAP. Hopefully at that stage, you've seen what we can provide in terms of seasonal opportunity and in terms of the benefits of our customers, you'd be willing to join us. Once you've accepted the verbal offer, we are going to move you on to the onboarding stage, which includes the initiation of our background checks, signing your offer letter via DocuSign, and any additional checks that be required based on local legislation. Once you completed all your new hire paperwork tentatively prior to your start date, you'll be sent over to the new hire onboarding, where you'll be able to select your seasonal schedule way in advance. So let's say your start date is in January. You will have the opportunity before the end of the year to know exactly what your hours will look like and how many hours you'll be working during the tax week, whether it be evenings, weekends, or ideally slightly a schedule that works best for you. Keep in mind, we still have a minimum requirement of 20 hours for our tax experts and full-time for our lead positions. Next, let's chat a little bit more about the tips for success, particularly with the virtual interview, because I understand it might be new for a lot of us. There are a few steps on how to prepare for your phone screen with your recruiter and to help you conduct a successful interview on HireVue. So for our phone screen with the recruiter, be prepared for a call at any time. You'll have the opportunity to pre-schedule a date and time on the recruiter calendar using the candidate portal invite that'll be emailed after you apply. Also, have your resume updated and ready to submit for review with the recruiter, as it will help expedite your process significantly. Also, be prepared to take the HireVue assessment within 24 to 48 hours after your phone screen. We have limited opportunities. Therefore, it's a first come, first serve environment in which you are looking to fill a certain number of opportunities across all levels and hopefully ensure that we are fully staffed to start our tax season in the new year. For the HireVue interview, as I mentioned earlier, will take approximately 60 to 90 minutes. Ensure that you have a quiet area and to the best of your ability to dedicate the entire block of time to complete that interview in one session. We definitely do recommend a strong internet connection during your HireVue interview, and you'll be required to complete the interview via computer or laptop with audio and video capability. What's nice is our HireVue, it's completely open book. So you can use any resources that you need to be able to support your answers and the conversations that will take place. Our only expectation is that there be no human assistance or utilizing AI like ChatGPT. Highly recommended that you complete the practice questions at the beginning of the interview. Also, those questions will allow you to really learn a little bit more about the system you're using and the steps you will need to take. Keep in mind, each question and section will be timed. As well, explain your thought process is critical to help us identify your set skills and your ability to service our customers, depending on your background and the type of products that we offer. Since this is an interview, we expect you to be professional, be thorough with your thought process, but as well, letting your personality shine through. Remember, the most important thing is to be your authentic self because that's what we're all about here at Intuit. So relax and have fun. And that's all for me. Maureen, back over to you.
Thank you so much, Vanessa, for covering the role and recruitment process with everyone. And now it's time for our second poll. If you're considering applying for one of our roles, we would like to know how many years you have been a paid tax professional. So these are your options here. No paid experience yet, less than a year, 1 to 2 years, 2 to 4 years, more than 5 years. Please go ahead and put in your response. We'll just give it some time for everyone to put in the response. Please go ahead if you haven't done it yet. Almost there, almost there. All right, so these are the response that we got. 49% no experience yet, 3% less than a year, and 1 to 2%, 14% 1 to 2 years, and 10% 2 to 4 years, and 24% more than 5 years. Thank you so much for completing the poll. All right. So coming up next is our guest speaker, Milan, a TurboTax live tax expert for Canada who was once in your shoes applying for this seasonal tax expert role. But before she joined us on the virtual stage, I would like to play a short video featuring a day in the life of a remote TurboTax live tax professional. So let's go ahead and play the video. All right. Now I would like to welcome Milan onto our virtual stage here to get some insight from her on her career journey within Intuit. Welcome, Milan.
Hi, Maury.
How
Hi,
you doing
everyone.
today, Milan?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. I'm excited for our conversation. Now, Milan, can you please give us a quick refresher on what your role here at Intuit is and how long you have been with us?
Absolutely. At the moment, I'm a senior tax expert in assistant review. I have done 3 tax seasons. This will be my 4th. I started out my first season as a seasonal tax expert. I speak both French and English. I'm completely bilingual. I'm able to help clients in both languages. And I'm glad to be able to help everyone that I can have on the phone with me.
Fantastic, fantastic. That sounds very interesting, especially being bilingual and all that. But for sure. All right, now I would love to hear from you on what a typical day look like, especially when you first started your seasonal position as a seasonal tax expert. What did your work day consist of, and what should folks on this call expect?
Well, a typical day as a tax expert, it's never exactly the same. I always start by simple things like rebooting my laptop, getting all my tools and programs started up, and making sure I have a good cup of coffee with me because that's always welcome. I'm ready to take calls at the beginning of my shift. I have to expect the unexpected. I can use the tools that I came to Intuit with, and I have learned so much since I started out with Intuit. I can receive calls that are simple information on how to get started with TurboTax and calls that have me going in depth in certain subjects. That's what's great is that I always have a team of leads that can help me navigate through the questions or the navigations issues I don't always have the answers to.
Mm. All right, all right. I mean, you can never go wrong with a cup of coffee and that assistance that you already have also, so which means that you are really never alone. So that was really helpful to know. Thank you so much for that. Okay. So when you first started working here at Intuit, what equipment and resources were provided to you?
Well, like we saw in the video, we receive a box before our start date with all the equipment that is needed. In that box, there's a laptop with a power supply, headset, a cable to connect to the internet modem, and a webcam. That's pretty much the only thing that's needed to be able to work. There's also information on how to set up all the programs needed, how to set up the computer, and connect to the system. The additional training is given afterwards through TurboTax, and it's really easy to go and learn everything you have to before actually getting on the calls.
Wow. So you're basically getting all the bread and butter, all the equipment, everything you need to get started. So that's really amazing for sure. All right.
Absolutely.
And how has Intuit helped you grow your career? I know you are a year-round team now. So how were you able to make this transition?
Well, what's great is with Intuit, you have the opportunity to learn and grow. I have learned to ask for help when I'm in a hurdle, rely on my teammates and colleagues. Intuit gave me access to trainings that helped me not only understand but master some tax subjects that I only had a vague idea of. Like I stated before, and like you said, I started off as a seasonal tax expert. And when the opportunity came, I was able to apply for a select time position. It means that I talked about it with my manager. We set up a plan, and when the job offer was there, I was able to apply and complete the interview exactly how people do for the seasonal role, and I actually got accepted for the year-round senior tax expert role. So I was really happy about that.
Great, great, great. Thank you for that also, Villain. And now I would like to shift our conversation a bit from work to our culture here at Intuit. You have heard me speak about the Intuit Awards and brand recognition as a company, but I would like to know your thought on the culture here. How would you describe it?
Everything here at Intuit is really team-oriented and client-oriented. Everyone works together to help clients in the best way possible. When we need help about anything like our computer, and if we have tax questions, there's always somewhere there to help and to for us to be the best we can be. So there's always help when needed.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's good to hear that you always have constant support and that you are never alone. Even when you start with all the training, you always have help. Perfect. That's great to know. So, Elena, I would like to know what perks or benefit do you enjoy the most here?
Oh, there's quite a few. Intuit reimburses part of my internet costs every month within a certain amount. There's also a bonus that's available. And what's great is the managing team is always clear about the bonus that are available, what we have to do to be eligible, and how we can maximize the amount of bonus we have. So everything is really clear and really precise. There's also the scheduling that is amazing because you can control your hours that you wish to work, and that's always a great plus.
Wow. It's like internet reimbursement, bonuses, and flexibility. That's a lot of perks right there for sure. And what about working from home? What is it like for you?
Well, working from home is a surprisingly added bonus for me. I had never worked from home before, and having access to that is really greatly appreciated. No more having to drive during winter time, having to rush, removing snow from the vehicle, letting warm up, and having a distance to ride to the office is really an added plus. Being able to make my lunch at home and also an added perk, and my favorite cup of coffee that I can make in my coffee maker. Uh, I have 4 children, and some of them go to school, so that's really amazing because I'm able in the morning to see them out the bus, and I just cross the kitchen, get my famous cup of coffee, and just getting to my office, and I'm ready to work. So it's really great for that. Also, with the hours that are extended during tax season, what I found really great is that I was able to work from 8 to midnight when the kids were in bed. So I had that 4 extra hours that I was able to put into my schedule. I was at home, everyone was safe and sound, and I was still able to put more hours than I could at that I could not have if I had an office outside of home. So I really appreciated that too.
Wow. On top of all the great perks that you already have, you get to escape the snow during winter time. And also you have family time and all that. Wow, this sounds all like very, very interesting. And so with that, I would just like to say thank you so much for the incredible conversation, Milan. If anyone has any questions for Milan, now it's time to ask them in the Q&A chat. I'm sure she will be more than happy to answer them. Thank you, Milan.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Maury.
All right. And now it's time for our last poll of the day. We'd like to know, will you apply to be a tax professional at Intuit? So these are your options here. Yes, it's a great opportunity. This opportunity is great fit for me. No, the opportunity is not the right fit for me. And three is I'm unsure at this time. So please go ahead and submit your answers. We just wait for everyone to submit the answers and we'll see the results. All right, almost there. All right, let's see the responses here. So we have 70% of you that say yes, the opportunity is a great fit for me, and 2% of you say no, the opportunity is the right fit, and 27% of you are unsure. Thank you so much for providing us your answers. We really appreciate that. All right. So before we end today, I would like to say thank you so much for attending our webinar. If you have any last minute question, please go ahead and ask them in the chat now. If you like what you have heard today and would like to apply to become a TurboTax Live tax expert, please go ahead and scan the QR code now to apply. A survey link has been added in the chat, so please provide your feedback before you leave today. Would love to hear from you on how we did today, if we answered all of your questions for you. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today and have a great rest of your day.